watch like that. What's up, Petra? You know what I kind of want to watch, actually? Do you see this little precious little girl? Assalamu alaikum. What's up, JS Gaming? What's up, Rochelle? Look who's visiting us again. Dude, I'm having a spectacular time. She's a precious little baby. Shall we turn off the music for ASMR? Let's do that ASMR, huh? No, don't bite me. Yeah. Little ASMR. Wow, where are you on vacation? Where are you on vacation? I kind of want to see what Graham Stephan posted about Santa Monica, because honestly, I could say the same exact thing. So that means you could hear the ASMR very well, can you?
Recent violent attacks in Santa Monica and a growing homeless population have shaken neighbors and businesses.
A series of high-profile crimes over the past several weeks became part of a showdown between the city and businesses as to whether this sign is true.
Immediately called the police around 2 a.m. and they showed up around 4 a.m.
The system's broken. Nothing is being done about it.
So this is Santa Monica. It's the city I grew up in. It's where I spent most of my time as a teenager, and it's even where
What's
I
up,
bought a house
Matt?
on the same street it grew up on before moving to Las Vegas. But as you're about to see, what used to be a thriving, vibrant culture and economy is now a barren wasteland of empty buildings and crime. And apparently it's gotten so bad in recent months that I didn't even believe it myself until I saw what I'm about to show you. Even though this is going to be unlike any other video I've ever done, I'm going to walk you through the city firsthand, share what it used to be like from someone who lived here, speak with the locals to see what they think about the recent events, and then I'll leave it up to you to come to your own conclusions.
All right, I want
I'd
you
also like
to.
to thank German and Venice
I
for
want
bringing
you
this
to
to my attention, because
sit
before I saw his video,
here.
I had no idea
There you
just how
go.
bad things had gotten. Now, for those unaware, behind me is the 3rd Street Promenade. Think of this like the major business hub of Santa Monica. Home to some of the now
3rd
most
Street
expensive
Promenade
real
used to
estate in the
be
country.
my
But it wasn't
spot.
always like that. Surprisingly, today, Santa
Actually-
Monica is safer than just 2% of U.S. cities. It's ranked one of the top 10 most dangerous places in the United States, and your chances
There
of
you
being a
go.
victim of a crime here are nearly 1 in 100. So this used to be Crepe Cafe. I remember this place would always be packed on the weekends. On weekdays, There'd always be people out front eating food. You could see
Crip
now that they
Cafe
closed
is
down.
gone?
And then over
Wow.
here, right across the street, this building used to be my bank. This used to be HSBC, and they shut down when COVID happened. They turned out a lot of their offices, but this all used to be really popular lease space that also is vacant right now. So we're not even about 50 feet away from that, and we have 3 more vacancies here. This used to be a Hollister. We have another vacancy next door to it, and then another vacancy across the street. So it seems like a lot of these businesses have shut down.
fell.
We also have another right here that I just missed that's for lease.
Oh,
What's
nice,
kind of remarkable is
JS.
40% of the 3rd Street Promenade right now is vacant. 40% of all of this space right now is completely empty, and I can't lease it. I also used to remember for the longest time there used to be street performers here, and now it's quite empty. Hold on. I mean, this is what it's turned into.
Dude, people are so weird in Santa Monica now. You guys, if any of you guys ever visit LA, I just want you to know that don't. Unless you want to go to like the nature side of it, don't visit for Santa Monica. Don't visit for Venice. Yo, we got a sub. Thanks, Dizzy, for the sub. I mean, I don't know if he's on my live, but he probably decided to subscribe to one of my from one of my videos. But hey, if he's on here, what's up? Anyways, yeah, don't literally don't.
How has this been normalized? Think of what this does, though, for businesses. Like, no one wants to open up here. People don't feel safe here. If you're just walking down the street and some guy comes up and is shouting in your face and wants to fight you. And then right behind, of course, we have the infamous Apple Store. This was also turned recently into a public safety kiosk. Again, in one of the most expensive areas in the entire country. And you have a public safety kiosk just because of how many incidents they have.
Yeah, this also used to be like a gift shop, coffee spot.
This was also turned
like it was like a souvenir shop in the middle of the area.
Recently into a public safety kiosk. Again, in one of the most expensive areas in the entire country. And you have a
Yeah, again, you don't need to. But listen, I mean, I got interested in this video. First of all, can we just, say hello? I mean, we're only 10 minutes into this stream and I'm already depressed. But how's everybody doing? People act like that because they're on drugs, bro. And then why do people choose to be on drugs is beyond me. Like, it never does good for anybody. Alright, everyone, I have good news. The ultimate project that I've worked on for the past month is finally going to be uploaded tomorrow. It's already uploaded, but I haven't pressed publish. We're only finalizing the thumbnail. And then it'll be posted. It could be tonight. It could be tomorrow morning. But it is happening. The sponsor loved it. I love it. My friends loved it. So all now we need to know if you guys are gonna love it. So you will get a notification sometime tonight. But I'm so very excited. It's a big project. And I can't wait to work on more. How big? Well, you're gonna have to find out. You're gonna have to find out. Anyways. What a day. Work. And then after that I got a car wash. Went grocery shopping. unwinded. Oh my god. The AC's on and my window's open. And now my window's closed. You know, just adulting. It is very difficult to be an adult. We have also a short ready to go. So we got a lot of things happening for us legends. We just need other people who are potential legends to subscribe. And don't forget, in 6 days, we're going to be having our first members only stream. Every brown parent, I didn't know we were cooling the whole neighborhood. Dude, literally. Again, we're going to have our first members only stream. So, we are having a book club. I don't know if Matt started reading on the book. But we're going to be talking about the book. Maybe a couple animes, maybe a couple things that may not be talked about in regular stream, maybe are. But this is specifically just for members because it's an appreciative stream of the ones that have been with me since the very beginning. Since I started monetizing. You did not read you're reading it? Ah, it's so good. It's so good. I'm telling you, dude, she you know what? We're gonna talk about it in 6 days. Can't talk about it here. Dude! We're gonna talk about it in 6 days. Not Matt being fully committed to this. Sheesh. So if you guys want to be a member, please subscribe. Become a member today. And you will be joining the members. You might finish it before stream. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. That's how good it is. But yeah. And if you can't, it's totally fine. But you'll be missing out. Alright. Can we finish this? Oh, I love this song. I love Pokemon music in general, bro. I wonder if Dogpack released another video. That would be interesting. Dude, the Steam Deck was the best thing. Stream Deck, I mean.
Safety kiosk, just because of how many incidents they have around here. You know, truth be told, I actually don't know what a public safety kiosk is. Should we ask? Hey. Hi. I'm curious. What is a public safety kiosk? I grew up here and I don't.
This.
What
it's
is?
just basically like a slow station, or people have questions, or something happens.
The owner says a similar smash and grab happened in February. Other stores along the promenade, like Lids, tell Eyewitness News they've been victims of the same crime, even though a Santa Monica Police Department public safety kiosk is right in front of the store.
Now, I will say there's one store that has been here ever since I was a kid. In the 90s, was Puzzle Zoo. At one point, they occupied both stores, but they had to downsize. So now they're taking half. The other half is taken up by Lids. But that store has somehow survived for probably about almost 40 years now, even though across the street, you have 2 more vacancies here. I also got to say it's quite remarkable when you compare how it used to look like back in like 2018, because you could go back on Google Street View and see precisely what was here, how many people were here, and then you see this giant.
I want to tell you guys that 3rd Street Promenade used to be the spot. Like, it used to be the spot for Santa Monica. Like, you'd feel super safe. No one would bother you. It's such a, like, community / just a place for a good time. Just a place for a good time. And now the way it looks, it's so trashy. No one wants to go there anymore. And no, like, if anyone wants to say, like, hey, like, do you want to go do something fun? No one says 3rd Street Promenade anymore. It's just not the spot.
Oh, this is a fun one. So this is now for lease.
It used to be
Guess how
Wetzel's
much they're
Pretzels.
asking for this. It's 1,500 square feet. It's on the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard and 3rd Street, so it's like a kind of prime location. They're asking $30,000 a month. So just think about that. If you're a small business, you're probably spending $30,000 a month in rent, then another $30,000 a month in overhead costs. So just to break even every month, you need to bring in $60,000. I don't get how any company could survive here unless it's a loss leader, unless you just put your business here for the exposure and then you lose money on it. It doesn't make any sense. So we're about to cross the street. This entire building used to be the Gap. They rented out all 4 stories and they extended through the end of the street. This has been empty for a very, very, very long time. I believe they closed down during COVID and they decided it just wasn't worth it anymore to stay in business here. I believe shoplifting took a hit on them, but also just they weren't getting as many sales in person, and with the state of how the promenade is, it makes sense. Why put a store here? Why pay the rent when it's just not making any money? This also used to be a really popular restaurant. It looks like they've closed down, and whoever the new owner is, or maybe it's the existing owner, decided to renovate it completely, so it'll be interesting to see what this becomes. I'm also really uneasy about recording in public, so I'm doing my best. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. If you appreciate me going outside of my comfort zone for this, I really don't like it. You can see there's people all around, and I'm terrified inside, but I'm doing it for you. So this used to be a lot more prevalent in Santa Monica with street performers.
This feels exactly like Seattle. I used to work in running a store in heart of the city. We used to have so many thefts. We didn't even bother calling the cops because they wouldn't do anything about it. One time I was at Petco buying stuff for my pets, clearly. And right in front of us, we were all waiting in line at the cashier. The cashier saw it. The people waiting in line to be cashed out saw it. This guy literally was holding a whole bunch of stuff and literally just walked out. Just walked out. And we're all like John Travolta, like, anyone gonna do anything about it? And then they literally said that it costs more to get someone to run after this guy than to just let it go. Right? Which is super sad. Which is really super sad. Just saw some YouTuber opening a coffee shop here in Waco. Oh, that's going to be me here in LA. But
People
boba.
really come from around the country to be able to perform on these streets and perform in front of a crowd. But now it's incredibly empty. Like, this is the
Hello. What's up? Oh.
Where's the cat?
Cat.
She knocked down my entire closet.
No, she did not.
Yeah. Anyway, I got this for you, but I'll show you later, I guess. When are you done?
When am I done?
When are you done?
بركي بعد ساعة. Sounds good.
Okay. Is she sleeping?
No.
She's not sleeping?
You can come get her.
I'm gonna clean my closet first.
Wait, like,
All on the floor. From the top.
wait, I want to see. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Here, this is another thing you can, it's like a button up with a white shirt. You can wear it black. Oh, thank you. Right? You like that? So cute. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I close my closet.
What is this? Where did she get this from?
Oh, that's mine. That's mine, yeah. Yeah, Little Miss Zuzu knocked down my sister's closet. Is yours not closed? Oh, it's a drink shop to make your own sodas, teas, and lemonades. Okay, guys, so I bought an Assam. Oh, Baba turned on the AC. Yeah. Oh, well, I think Baba just turned it on just he closed downstairs. Yeah, so, yeah, that Zuzu. Exactly, it's crazy. I had a similar experience. Me and my boss literally confronted a guy stuffing clothes into his bag and stealing illegally, and legally we can't even touch him. Dude, it's so, like what? Like, what kind of law? What kind of law is that? So I bought Assam tea leaves, and I bought half and half. I'm going to try to make Assam at home because I keep literally spending so much money. Rightfully so, but like I need to just make it at home. And it's just like it's already pre-made in the store and it's so much faster to pick it up. But I just gotta brew it myself, you know? Anyways, let's continue talking about depression.
First person that we've seen in a block and a half who's performing. It's pretty sad to see the state that Santa Monica's become. So what's really interesting is that we've spoken to a few business owners and people who work here, and not a single person wants to share their experience on camera, but they'll gladly talk off camera. And everyone is afraid of almost being public about how they feel about the situation because they're afraid of either retaliation or being canceled for having thoughts that aren't politically correct. But it seems, though, that a lot of people feel the exact same way about what's going on here. It's just they're too afraid to speak about it. So this used to be the food court. There used to be a McDonald's in here. There was a Chinese food that was really good.
Yep.
And then upstairs used to be a whole bunch of restaurants.
Yep.
And I think this closed in 2020, and it hasn't reopened since. Again, it's probably because the rent is so unbelievably high. But there is some good news in the fact that across the street, it seems like Barnes & Noble is opening
Barnes & Noble.
up. So
Okay, so Barnes & Noble, yeah, I love Barnes & Noble. Like, I literally would go there and just sit and do nothing. In 3rd Street Promenade, there used to be a place called Borders, which is Barnes & Noble's competitor. But that closed a good 15, 16 years ago. So the fact that Barnes & Noble is opening, I'm curious to see how long they're going to keep it open for.
So perhaps a few of these businesses are beginning to move back to the area. So the last block of the promenade has always been the most difficult for businesses because people tend to gravitate towards that side. So this is somewhat neglected, and that's why it's hit especially hard because you have 3 vacancies in a row on this side. Across, you have another vacancy on this side, and then a few stores down, you have 1, 2 more empty buildings on that side, which makes it really difficult because why would you want to move your business in here when there are just empty businesses next to you? It gets a lot less foot traffic. Yeah.
Hey, hit the like and subscribe.
There we
guys.
go. Thank you.
I've seen you before, bro. Have a great day.
Thank you. Yeah, you too.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you.
This guy's amazing.
Thank you. So you're probably wondering, what happened? Well, it's really the perfect storm. The first reason is that people are shopping a lot more online, so there's less of a reason to have a storefront out here like this. The second reason is COVID. Businesses were forced to shut down. They weren't allowed to operate, and as a result, businesses lost a lot of money and had to close. So I think from all the closures here, this one resonates the most with me because I used to come here as a kid in the 90s, and this used to
Old
be
Navy?
a Barnes & Noble.
What?
Then, my understanding is that in 2018, they doubled the rent. Barnes & Noble said they couldn't possibly
No, it
sell
was
that many
Borders.
books to be able to pay the rent. They left. It was then taken over by WeWork. We know how that turned out. WeWork went out of business, and since then, this building has sat empty. Now, a big problem with
Interesting.
a lot of the
Maybe
real
my-
estate that's here
maybe
is that
my mind is wrong.
the building's value is really tied to the amount of rent they receive. So if a developer decides to lower the rent, all of a sudden, if they take a lower rent, their building is worth a lot less. And then when you have one building that's worth a lot less, that acts as a comp for other buildings next to it to also be worth a lot less. So in a sense, they're almost forced to keep their rents high just to maintain their value. And in terms of how much it costs, it's very expensive. Rents here on the promenade start about $5 to $6 a square foot. And they go as high as $20 a square foot. So that
Which is
means
nuts.
sometimes for a 1,000 square foot storefront, you could pay anywhere from $7,000 to $20,000 a month. Or if you have 3,000 square feet, even at $6 a square foot, that's $18,000 a month just in rent alone that you have to make up for with street traffic that just isn't here anymore. So really outside of any high-end restaurants or national retailers, no one could really afford what's here. The other issue is that a lot of these buildings were built in a time where a business could take over the entire store. But now we've shifted towards smaller buildings, and places like this are really difficult to subdivide. So what ends up happening is that you have a 3,000 square foot place for rent, and they can't chop it up into smaller storefronts.
And yeah, in California, such a bitch, dude. You know, but at least like when I went to Seattle, Wind, I feel like it's still a lot more lively and a lot more safe comparatively to like Santa Monica. And then for your question, Adrian, am I excited for LA 2028? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, traffic is gonna suck so bad. But a lot of potential, business, a lot of potential tourists, and you know, I think there's gonna be more pros than cons that are gonna come out of this. But I don't know. I'm pretty neutral about it at the moment. Pretty neutral.
You're stuck either renting the entire thing or nothing at all. The other issue is homelessness. Right now it's reported that there's 117 homeless per 1 square mile, which is some of the highest in the country. And again, that's just what they could count. Now the thing is though, if you are homeless, I mean, look at where we are. It's one of the most beautiful places in the entire country. And that's one of the difficult parts, is because when I walk around here, it is so nice. The weather is perfect. The scenery is incredible. I mean, it's really one of a kind, and I see why people want to be here so badly and how beautiful it is. Even for me, having left, there are aspects of Santa Monica and Los Angeles that I really miss, just because it's so unbelievably gorgeous here. Now, in terms of solving the homelessness issue, California has spent so far about $24 billion since 2019. And this behind us is an example of exactly that. This used to be a parking structure that was torn down to build affordable housing for the homeless. However, the cost is through the roof. A lot of locals say that it costs way too much money at $125 million, which means every unit that's going to be built here for the homeless is going to cost about $1 million. Now, for context, if you want to buy your own condo here in Santa Monica, it's going to cost you anywhere between $1 million to $1.5 million, give or take. Or you could live here if you're homeless. The other issue,
which is like insane to me. Like the fact that the government is gonna make houses for the homeless, for them to live in for free, and for the, you know, people who make money, who pay taxes, who whatever, yeah, make money and pay taxes, go and like will buy a home, have a mortgage on it, pay more property taxes on it, and then have these homeless live in there for free. It's just so backwards.
is crime. Petty theft under $950 is now considered a misdemeanor, and that's really impacted a lot of businesses.
Prop 47 passed in 2014 and changed the way California handles certain crimes, making thefts of less than $950 chargeable as only misdemeanors.
I done seen people look at the store owner and take it right in front of them and walk out.
It has fueled a market of petty and repeat offenses with zero to low accountability.
After that, we have the rail line, which extends all the way from downtown to Santa Monica. The concern that I've heard from some of the locals is that
and like this is the public transportation that we're gonna where people are gonna be on from downtown to Santa Monica. Like we're not. This is like. I will never use public transportation here. Like I use public transportation everywhere else, not here.
that this rail line makes it very accessible for people to travel from Skid Row to Santa Monica.
Like insane. I remember seeing videos of people breaking open shipping containers on trains, and yeah, dude. Yeah. Like yeah. There was a theft that happened near where I live. At a store recently. It's just like it's just that they normalize this.
Back to Skid Row, back to Santa Monica, who otherwise wouldn't be here.
Brock tells us Ali tried to steal his hat 3 times and eventually got it, shoved him, and also tossed a liquid at the couple.
Turned to walk away. He took a bottle of some sort of liquid, threw it on me.
Brock says he and his girlfriend followed Ali while keeping 911 updated on his whereabouts. And when the man somehow toppled over, Brock held him down until police arrived.
And of course, we can't make a video like this without discussing drug use. It was recently found that substance abuse affects about 75% of the homeless population. This is also reflected in the fact that Santa Monica is one of the top fentanyl death hotspots in LA County. Use of these drugs, combined with 78% of the homeless population suffering from mental health issues, is a serious contributor to violent crime incidents. I would personally say, though, as someone who grew up here, I think the nail in the coffin was the 2020 riots that happened, and a lot of these businesses were broken into, and ever since then it just seems like they've had a really difficult time recovering from that.
So I lived in Santa Monica since 2017, and I've seen it change a lot.
So so for this situation about drugs, So this is the first time I've ever seen this in my life. When I was in New York, we were in Bryant Park, and we walked to the very backside of Bryant Park innocently, and all of a sudden we see it was just like darkness. Like the sun was setting, the trees, gathered in shade, and all of a sudden we see a whole bunch of people with needles just shooting it up. And it was me, my mom, and my sister. And all of a sudden, like my mom, never seeing this before in her life, in her 50 something years of her life, she goes right in front of him. And we're like, Mom, please, mom, just keep walking. She's like, Shufi, which means like, look. And my mom leans like, dude, please, just keep walking. We gotta get out. We gotta get out of here. And my mom was like, and it was so funny. It was so funny. We're like, Mom, we gotta get out of here. Like, we gotta keep walking. We gotta get out of this tunnel. Whatever this. It's not a tunnel, but like just like this path. We just gotta get out. We gotta get out. And then as soon as we got out, we're like, Mom, you're not supposed. She goes, I wasn't yelling. I was saying if I was talking to you. And I was like, no. You gasped really loud. She goes, I didn't gasp. I'm like, all right. Okay, Mom. We got it. No, we're good. It was just so funny. But like, it's just like the amount of drugs that we just saw in this setting, and nothing's being done about it, because of course, like, everyone is like on their own vibe. So like, if anyone were to call the cops, like, I don't even think the cops are going to do anything about it, to be honest with you. Like, it's that bad. It's a rightful reaction to see something for the first time like that. It's just like, it's just a reaction. Like, but like for me, like when I saw it, I just like, dude, I just saw it and I'm just like, all right, chill. Keep walking in my head. Dude, I don't even know how they get the drugs, man. Like, it's so crazy to me that like people would go lengths to even get it, because it's so dangerous. And like, you're dealing with the wrong crowd and the wrong people, and it's just like, it's just a domino effect that just leads to no good. Clearly. I swear to God, if any of you guys do drugs.
A lot throughout the years, especially through the pandemic, which was one of the more interesting times, especially with all the riots and everything that are actually happening right down the street. I had 7 helicopters right above my unit, for a while. We've had people try to break into our garages. We've had our garbage situations a mess. So I have a lock on our garbage outside. Just so it doesn't get crazy, and that was like something we had to do.
We've had to break in our place. I have a buddy who lives a couple miles that way, still in Santa Monica, that has had to break in. These are anecdotes again, but I don't think that anyone should have a rosy picture and should just pretend that this is the kind of neighborhood you can leave your door unlocked and then not have to worry about anything happening. I hope we can figure it out. Obviously.
I've lived here my whole life. I've grown up here. I was born in '90. I mean, it used to be a lot easier going, a lot simpler. I mean, you would never see houses go for the prices that they were at.
No, I don't think it's not illegal. I have to look that up. I have never heard of that. That would be insane if that's the case. Like, if a burglar comes in, you can't defend yourself, but you're gonna let the burglar hit you? No.
And everyone was in these kind of like, single level homes, and the homelessness is crazy. Like, it was never to the point where they're under every bridge, every freeway, underpass.
It's definitely deteriorated a lot where I've contemplated moving out. I do love Santa Monica.
Me too.
But I have contemplated moving out just for that reason, because it's just changed a lot. I've seen things just outside on the buildings when they shut down saying, hey, we shut down because of Santa Monica city codes. And they're like, we're still located in Hollywood if you want to come see us, but we're no longer going to be in Santa Monica.
What is Santa Monica doing about it?
I think they're just throwing money at it. You see, they do these frequent kind of clear ups, maybe like once every few months, but 3 days later, maybe even less, you'll see it just the way it is, the same amount of trash, the garbage. And then there's these nebulous housing projects in downtown LA. Which,
nebulous.
You know, you hear about them, you kind of occasionally you'll see like community letters come out like this is what we're doing, but it doesn't change anything. There's really no difference being made with these really insane projects. I mean, the amount of money they're throwing at this is insane. Yeah, it just seems to get more and more as time goes on, and more homeless, more spending on it, but everything's getting worse.
I avoid the pier at all costs. I'd never go over there because every time it's just like very sad. And my car did get broken into recently.
What's up, Ren?
2 months ago.
How you doing?
And just on the street here?
So I live in actually a really safe neighborhood, like off Wilshire. Families, like really nice homes and everything. And I was just parked right outside my apartment. And yeah, just on a random Tuesday.
Did you file a police report on that?
So I didn't actually file a police report, but I did call the police and let them know what happened. And they basically told me that unless I had footage, then there's no point of filing a report because they're not going to be able to identify who it was.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. I learned this the other night that according to these statistics,
No, we haven't.
crime in Santa Monica has actually decreased. And one of the reasons why is because so many people fail to file a police report because the police either can't do anything about it or because people don't want their insurance going up.
Oh, and that's the funny part. And I was like, well, we've made Santa Monica safer, so we're doing something right.
And so a lot of businesses are experiencing, for them, increased crime, but they won't report it because there's nothing the police can do, and they don't want to pay more insurance. So they just let it go under the radar.
Crime data shows that vandalism and burglaries have decreased in San.
I've met ultramarathoners who used to be drug addicts, and it's inspiring how they overcame trauma and pain to get where they are. Deep unresolved trauma is oftentimes why people turn to drugs. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Santa Monica.
Businesses are closing left and right because of all this looting going on.
She says when she called police, they suggested she call the store's insurer.
The state tries to manipulate things a lot, right? I think there's a lot of rent control in this state. That doesn't seem to help anything because once a place is rent control, that person will never leave, so that housing will never be on the market again. I think just everything in California, it needs to pop. Just once, you know, it's just been going up. Every recession, we just keep going up, and it's starting to show.
I mean, look, overall, every time I drive into Santa Monica,
I ran here for my 10K. This is a nice area, to be honest with you. But once you go to the pier, it's like, ooh, probably not.
I love it. Right, I drive in, away, coming.
Because these are where all the luxury hotels are. This street. I'm pointing as if like you guys can see that I'm pointing here, but like this, all of this, mouse, do your thing, is all luxury hotels. And the police, for sure, they keep this on check. They wouldn't dare have anything here because a lot of high-end, high-class royalty people come down and stay in this area. But if you go further down, it's fair game for anyone.
From West Hollywood or other parts of the city, and I love coming back to this little pocket. A lot of the things you have to deal with is the unfortunate part about Santa Monica, and I would not wish that on someone who's like trying to have their first place here because it's difficult, especially if you have kids.
BRB, Matt's gonna go make some tea.
Highly reconsider where I was living.
The weather's really nice, right? I think that's ask anyone. That's what they're gonna say is like the main plus. Is the weather's beautiful. I don't really feel like I'm in danger being myself, but I do worry if my daughter and my wife go out to like a park on their own. Because there's been instances where just like, yeah, there's this wild homeless guy there. Someone had to call the cops. It's a whole thing. You just don't want your kid to be exposed to that kind of stuff. And there really is no reason for them to be exposed to that. It's not acceptable.
Here's my honest feeling. If you are someone who, you know, at night doesn't like to walk to their car alone, if you're someone that's maybe from like a small town that's really safe, where you feel comfortable going for a walk in the middle of the night, then you're gonna be in for a culture shock for sure moving here. Like there's definitely gonna be things you're not expecting. But if you really love Southern California and you want to experience like the, in my opinion, coolest part of LA, this is the place to be. But if you do get scared, and rightfully so, of your safety when walking around big cities, this is some of the worst that it's gonna get, so you might not want to live
No.
there, you know?
So let me know what you guys think of this down below in the comments section.
No, Mustafa, I didn't like your donut rating. You put pistachio first, bro. You put pistachio first. That's crazy. You put pistachio, then chocolate, then white chocolate. You put blueberry and lotus as 4 and 5. Suggestions, we'll see. No, please go overboard with the emotes, please. But like lotus would be first, then blueberry. And honestly, who also? Oh, Windstorm. Windstorm agrees with me. Windstorm agrees with me. And then you put everything else, like, that's crazy. What do we have in the suggestions, guys? Windstorm. Craven. Ooh, Craven looks pretty good. Let's see.
My son, we are hunted.
I'm sorry. Remind me of who Craven is. That's Spider-Man's enemy, correct? Dude, I've tasted a lot of pistachio in my lifetime. Lean, would you have a pistachio donut?
Yeah.
Do you like pistachio?
No. But I've tried a pistachio donut.
Is it good?
I feel like if you like pistachio, it's good. Like, I tried it, and I was like, this is good if I like pistachio.
Yeah, see?
You like pistachio?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I like pistachio icing.
You like pistachio icing?
Yeah, I like a mochi nut. You know the pistachio donuts?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't eat that.
I would when it's like, no one, like, there was a box one time and no one was like, I don't want it. And I was like, I'll eat it, like, if I have to. But I was still like...
Like, what would you rate out of 10?
Like 6.
Ooh, that's pretty high.
Yeah, I like, was able to finish it, but I'm not, like, going to the store and being like, give me the pistachio donut, please.
Speaking of which, we need to go to Krispy Kreme because their pumpkin spice is out.
Already?
Yeah.
Already? Okay. We have to finish the donuts that we have now.
You have to finish it.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell my
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I sent the... Check my head. No. I sent the new footage for Assassin's Creed Parkour. It's lit. He was... But yes, he was. Okay. We'll continue the watching.
The greatest the world has ever known.
Охотник до сказки.
Bye, Mustafa. Thank you so much for coming.
Who's next?
He's hot.
I heard the noise of thunder.
Are you like your father? A gangster? A killer?
And I heard a voice. And behold, hell followed with him. There's a man going round taking names.
My son.
And he decides
He's
who to
so
free
hot.
and who to blame.
Yes, an animal stronger than you can imagine.
The hairs on your arm will stand up.
Tell me about this hunter.
Some are born and some are dying.
Once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
When the man comes around. When the man comes around.
Oh, yeah. He would be a beautiful Tarzan.
Whoever is unjust.
You think you're some kind
Oh,
of hunter?
thank you for letting me see that.
Some kind of code?
They'll be unjust.
You're just another man
Whoever is righteous.
hunting for a trophy.
Let him be righteous still.
Just like our father.
When the man comes around. When the man comes around.
Embrace who you really are, son. And you will become a legend.
When the man comes around.
I mean, isn't Craven sick?
When the man comes around.
Right? Isn't he like originally sick, so he had to inject all these drugs in him? Okay, new Assassin's Creed. Teaser trailer. Oh, God, what's her name? Does anybody remember her name? From the Lion Blood. Oh, okay, because from my understanding in Spider-Man, he was sick. This is only 30 seconds? Wow. Look at that flyaway. Webster. Love it. Side flip. Gap. So good. So stealth. Okay. That was really good. Dude, this game's gonna be lit. Dude, it's only 2 months away. We're not that far off from the release. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see. Anyone interested in watching Valkyrie on Wired? I know Ludwig did one. I think they're really interested in streamers. If it's interesting, we'll keep watching.
Hi, I'm Valkyrie, and this is the Wired autocomplete interview. I do have all my swords up on a wall. It looks awesome. You know, if anyone breaks in, I could just grab one and just do a quick little shank. Thank you. Where does Valkyrie stream? So 9 years ago when I first started streaming, I streamed on Twitch. 4 years later, I actually got signed to stream on YouTube. This is actually my 3rd year resigning on YouTube. So I've been streaming on YouTube for the past 5 years. And it has been quite the journey, let me tell you. When did Valkyrie blow up? I'm still good. Did not blow up. I was streaming on Twitch for about 3 years when I started playing this game called Fortnite. And that was on my first rise, like I guess blow up in viewership. That was like the first part. And that's when I got found by my agency. That's when I started, like I moved to LA. That's when 100 Thieves picked me up, the esports company that I co-own now. Gosh, and then the pandemic happened, and then there's this game called Among Us where you play with like 10 other people. It's like a mafia type game where you try to find the imposters. That is the game where I absolutely blew up like crazy. And I think it's because everyone was at home, you know, like a lot of people that normally be like at work or school or wouldn't really be on the internet knew like of this game. It was really cool that I was able to entertain a lot of people during that time, but I'm glad that life is getting a little bit back to normal. Where does Valkyrie get her swords?
Dang.
I'm not expecting these. Every time I pull them off, like, oh, that's interesting. I do have swords. I actually have a sword collection. Admittedly, I don't actively go out and find swords as much as I used to. I've gotten a lot of my swords from online, from custom.
I really want to buy a custom sword, specifically a custom katana, because I need one, and I think it's time for me to have one. It'd be good to train with, because I think I'm ready for one. I should get one soon. What's up, Tovmir? Sorry, I missed that.
Custom makers. I've made one myself at a blacksmith, which was really cool. A lot of them have been gifts because people know I like swords and stuff, so I've been gifted over time. You know, now that we're talking about it, I kind of want to go look for swords again and just add more to the collection. Why did Valkyrie stop playing GTA? For context, I think people are asking about Grand Theft Auto 5 roleplay, which I started a few years ago, and then I have a character on there named Raymond, and it's where you roleplay this whole life in GTA. It's all modded, it's all cool, it's a bunch of improv. I quit playing back then because a lot of viewers got insanely parasocial, and there's a lot of criticism when it comes to like your character, how you interact with other people. There's a lot of chat hoppers, and I couldn't handle it back then. And a couple of years later, to probably about this last December, I decided to give it a shot again, and now I have a different mentality with it. I pretty much tell my viewers, treat it as a reality TV show, okay? The streamer does not equal the character, all right? So when you play a villain or your character makes mistakes, just view it as entertainment, okay? Not that the streamer's a horrible person or whatever. All right, woo! Yay. What's Valkyrae's real name? My real name is Rachel Hofstetter, and it's a kind of a funny story. My name's already doxed anyways, but my real name, Rachel, actually has 2 L's. So it's R-A-C-H-E-L-L, and I didn't find out until I was in 6th grade. I saw my birth certificate that I was spelling my name wrong all these years. So I asked my mom, was like, what's this extra L doing there? She was like, oh, the nurse misheard me. That's crazy. What car does Valkyrae have? It's like a scratch and sniff. I have a Lamborghini Urus.
Dang, she had to cough that one up. Sheesh. MashaAllah. That, good for her. I love that for her. Go off. Go off, Valkyrae. MashaAllah. All the MashaAllahs. Please, no hasad.
I spoiled myself. I love it so much though. Very fancy, but love it. What rank is Valkyrae in Valorant? I peaked at plat, but I'm hard stuck gold right now. I'm working on it. It's about right in the middle. There's a bunch of ranks. I'm so perfectly average at this game. But I think that's why people like to watch me, is because there's really good moments and then there's really good fails. What is Valkyrae settings in Fortnite? Since I do prioritize content over being the best, I know that a lot of pro players in Fortnite have like really low settings so they can see everything. It doesn't lag at all, but my settings in Fortnite are maxed out because I want it to be beautiful. I just prioritize the viewing experience better than the gameplay. What is Valkyrae? My gaming setup. I have 2 monitors. I have a custom-built PC. I still
be on wired.
Tech issues all the time, but luckily I have people around me that can help with that. I mean, I've got like the headset microphone. I've got like my gaming chair, a gaming space, camera, lighting, really good lighting. Really want to get like good quality for a streaming setup. Woo! Thank you so much. Can Valkyrae? Oh my gosh, what can I do? I don't know. Dance! I feel like a lot of people actually don't know this about me, but I took dancing lessons for 9 years as a kid. I quit to play tennis,
right?
that I ended up being a varsity captain for 2 years in my high school, and which I ultimately quit to do streaming, so. I cannot dance now. During the pandemic, I tried doing like the TikTok dances. I deleted all of them because I was super cringed. I mean, I could dance, just not very well. Is Valkyrae merch sold out? Yeah. I am working on a new drop right now, so there will be more merch in the future, but normally when I have like a merch drop, it's a one-off kind of thing. I don't have like a permanent store.
I feel like Valkyrae and Pokemon have like their personality like kind of mesh. Like they just have the same there's a word for it. But yeah, they have the same. Yeah. Do you guys know what I mean?
I would say the only permanent merch store I have right now is the 100 Thieves merch store. But other than that, soon. Does Valkyrae have a tattoo? I do. I have 2 tattoos. I regret them both. I mean, I don't regret them. I don't mind them. Like, I don't care enough to get them covered, but I definitely, would prefer if it's not there. But I don't care that, it's like there, it's whatever. Anyways, I have this one on my wrist. It's a Delta triangle that I wish was a bit smaller. Got it a long time ago after I got cheated on in a relationship. Because triangle is the strongest geometrical shape, and also Delta stands for change, so I wanted to like remind myself, like, I'd see it and be like, Don't go back to your ex. Spoiler alert, I did go back to my ex, which is just insane. But I grew a lot from it. I learned a lot from
That's
my
crazy.
past relationships. And then I also have another tattoo on my side right here that says "and beyond." My childhood best friend has to infinity. We're both huge Disney fans when we were growing up. And for our senior trip, we went to Disneyland. Just her and I. I haven't seen her in like 10 years, but I'm sure if we ever saw each other again, it would just be like a lot of catching up and stuff. It's distance, you know. I don't really regret that. It's cute, you know. It's cute. This one is like, whoa. But okay, anyways. Valkyrae. What? Among Us! Among Us was a huge point in my streaming career. Absolutely insane. It was 8 months playing that game every single day through the pandemic with a bunch of other streamer friends, and it was mental warfare because, you know, like that game requires you to lie and deceive to your friends and stuff. And when you're playing it every single day for like 8 hours a day for 8 months, it got a little mentally taxing. I did cry after a few streams. There was one stream where I peaked at 150,000 viewers playing this game, this silly game. So felt like a fever dream. 2 years of my life gone. But I'm happy we had Among Us to play during that time. Valkyrae, carrots! This is so insane. Okay, why? That's so crazy that people are Googling this. Okay, so Valkyrae carrots is because there is a clip of me a long time ago when I was a much newer and smaller streamer. I don't know, it's just a clip of me getting some carrots, and I came back to the stream and I go, Valkyrae here with some carrots, what up with them vegetables? And I don't know why my community loves it so much. Okay, yeah, carrots. I love carrots, glazed carrots actually. Really
Glazed carrots.
Ooh, this one doesn't have really any spoilers. It's just Valkyrae. Valkyrae, what? The meaning of Valkyrae. That's a good Google. Okay, when I first started making like this gaming account a long time ago on Instagram, I had a username called Legend of Ray. Super cringe.
That's so funny. I guess Legend is really used a lot, huh?
To think about because of Legend of Zelda.
SamuLegend. Yikes.
I realized I was like, I don't want people to call me Legend of Ray. It's because I wanted my nickname to be Ray, but my real name is Rachel. No one ever called me Ray growing up, but that's the nickname I wanted. So I was like, I can make this so people call me Ray. So I was like, I'll make a username that has Ray in it. So I started Googling a bunch of words that have like Ray in it, and I saw the word Valkyrie, which is like the Nord mythology, angels and war and stuff. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, really cool, badass women. I don't know if I can say badass on this, but you know, I was like, okay, instead of Valkyrie, I'll just add Ray to it, Valkyrae, and the rest is history. I'm really glad I changed my username back then. Valkyrae, Elden Ring. Before Fortnite, I played the Dark Souls series, which I really love.
I'm glad you guys. I'm glad I put Samu first on Legend because a lot of people call me Samu, which is pretty funny. Never thought that would happen. Samu.
Loved, and then I tried Elden Ring when it came out because it's kind of the same type of gameplay, and I beat the first boss and then I quit. That was 2 years ago. I do have a death counter, and so far, I've got like 4 bosses down and only 70 deaths, so I'm doing a pretty good job. Apparently I have to beat 2 bosses to play the DLC, so I really have to catch up. So right when I get home from this, I'm probably gonna go play Elden Ring. Valkyrae, Fortnite. I feel bad because I feel like I have a community that just like loved watching my Fortnite gameplay. It was also the first YouTube content I uploaded. Also, I had like clips of me doing sniper trick shots on Instagram in Fortnite. So I think I built a lot of my community from Fortnite. Fortnite isn't what it was back then. Like, it's a bit different now, so I haven't played it in a really long time, but I'm open to trying it when new seasons come out. Valkyrae,
Okay, where'd you go?
Wow. Yeah, I had a pretty crazy opportunity to meet up with LeSseraphim. And for those of you that don't know, it's a very popular female K-pop group. They're all so lovely, but they...
Okay, I'm gonna play Fortnite now. Let's see. Oh, this guy. I know he's the voice actor for Tenzin, which didn't we all find that out the other day?
Was kind of based on.
Oh my God, that's what he looks like now? What?
Stan. That was his comic version of.
Wow. Wait, so was he... So you knew that was him? Well, was he wearing a wig for the Spider-Man movies?
And he confessed to me at the time that, you know, he was a little jealous that they didn't ask him to play the part in the movie. The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That hair suits him so well.
Crap, mega crap. I'll give you $200 for all of them.
That seems a little low.
Take them somewhere else then.
I was not a comic book guy. My dad was a farm boy from Illinois. My mom was a city girl
He fits the part so well.
from Chicago. And we'd go to outside of Gerlaw, Illinois, to visit Cousin Weed on his farm. Was big into Marvel comic books, all the big Marvels, but Spider-Man was his boy. He was his favorite. And he, even at that age, like, appreciated that Spider-Man was just this regular kid who something happened and he gets turned into a superhero, but he still wants to be this regular kid in his real life. And that was the genius of the Sam Raimi trilogy of, you know, that brought Marvel to, you know, what it is today. He didn't make a movie about Spider-Man. He made a movie about Peter Parker and made it so relatable for audiences. And thank you, Sam, for championing me to play J. Jonah Jameson, which was, you know,
Like,
I had
for
vivid
real.
memories of JJJ from the comic books, a guy with a mustache and a big flat top and this big mouth
Like,
full of
he
white
nailed
teeth
it.
and this angry snarl.
Wait, I got it. Dr. Octopus.
But I like it.
Of course you do. Dr. Octopus. New villain in town. Doc Ock.
Genius.
What, are you looking for a raise? Get out.
I had already done 2 films with Sam for Love of the Game. You know, I went and I auditioned and everything, which is I was certainly used to doing at the time. I mean, it was such a fun chance to play, even though I love playing grounded, subtle, real, intense characters. As I read...
Also, side note, I just started watching the show Suits. It's so good. I'm like obsessed. I know I'm late on the bandwagon, but it's really good. My friend got me hooked. He's like over 70 now, but still buff AF. What? Really? Goals. Literal goals.
Every Spider-Man comic I could get my hands on, it just more and more screamed, this is a character, as much as any character in the movie, maybe more, that needs to jump off the pages of the comic book and be larger than life in his energy and have this Preston Sturgis kind of rhythm and vibe to it. I had never met Stan and didn't even know, and this is kind of obvious.
I don't know what
to
day.
anybody who's really paying attention or
I don't know
smarter
when it
than
came
I am.
out, but I'm a
you know,
Today fan.
JJJ was kind of based on Stan, you know, comic version of himself. He confessed to me at the time that, you know, he was a little jealous that they didn't ask him to play the part in the movie, but having seen you do it, I thought you were fantastic, and it was, you were, very, very nice things, which, obviously, coming from the man was a great, great compliment.
There you have it, folks. Conclusive proof that Spider-Man was responsible for the brutal murder of Mysterio, an interdimensional warrior who gave his life to protect our planet.
No, when they showed him in freaking Tom Holland's J. Jonah, that was crazy.
And who will no doubt go down in history as the greatest superhero of all
What's
time.
up, Annie?
My reintroduction as JJJ in the Tom Holland movies with John Watts directing, who I did not know, and Amy Pascal, who I knew from the very beginning. I mean, like, the movie was in the can. I don't even know whose idea it was. It was Amy, it was John, if it was somebody else. Hey, we could squeeze in a little J. Jonah Jameson here. I mean, why not get JK and see if he'll do it? And of course, I was intrigued by the idea. And, we're not going to do like, the flat top and the mustache and the cigar and all that. And I was like, what? That's like half of the guy. What do you mean we're not, trying to wrap my brain around that? And they were like, well, it's, yours were so, so great and so like, felt like a period piece and da-da-da-da, and, we're modernizing the franchise, and he's not a newspaper guy, he's a media mogul of this and that. We were shooting a day or two later. And we shot it in somebody's office. It wasn't on a stage. It was like, you know, it happened fast. I honestly think they didn't have time to get a wig made. I think it may have come down to that.
That was crazy.
I just kind of pitched, you know, I want to have the same like color thing going on. I really would like to keep the mustache, keep the cigar, I mean, it's the same character, right? It's the same vibe. And they were, oh yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So we made that compromise, and I need to ask that question someday. They probably wouldn't admit it. Whiplash.
Now, are you a rusher or are you a dragger?
Oh, wow.
Or are you going to be on my fucking time?
I'm going to be on your time.
Obviously, it's one of the most genius pieces of writing.
Wait, I've never watched this movie. Is this a... Oh, wow. Window's already on it. Seems like a good movie.
It was one of those things that I read and just, I mean, I don't know if I was literally shaking, but I could 100% see myself as Fletcher in every sentence, every frame of the movie. I understood who this guy was, what he wanted, what he needed, and I knew that I was the right guy.
Tanner, let's start the pickup to 11. 3, 4. Same spot. 3, 4. Okay, all right. Well, you're in the first chair. Let's see if it's just because you're cute. 3, 4. Yep, that's why.
The first thing he said was, JK, I want to sort of take some of the onus off of you. I want to put you at ease with the musical aspects of this. We'll have a technical advisor for you, a conductor. For a lot of the long shots, we can just use a body double to do the actual conducting. He said, I just want to, you know, I want you as the actor. So don't be intimidated. And I'm staring at him like, dude, I'm a classically trained musician. I wanted to be Leonard Bernstein.
Wow, wow. You know, it's always the strict people that have that legacy.
Conductor. So I'm not just going to be some actor up there waving his arm. I will learn these scores. And in another piece of kismet, he had no idea that Miles had been playing drums since he was 15 years old and that he wouldn't have to fake all the drumming either.
Not my fucking tempo!
Sorry, guys. Hate to put you through this. If you need to fucking take a dump or get a coffee, whatever, now might be a good time because we're gonna stay here until I find a drummer who can fucking play in time.
What was most important to this character?
Jazz, music, art, nothing else mattered. There is no perfection in art, but attaining perfection in your art is still the goal. He is such a psychopath that nothing.
That's such a good statement. There's no perfection in art, but attaining perfection in your art. Wow. That's nice. That's nice.
Nothing else matters. Well, that's not me. I do understand wanting to make great art.
Was I rushing or was I dragging? Rushing or dragging?
Rush, I don't know.
Start counting again.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop. Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference.
People should watch that short film. It's really great. And it was made for no money. There was such a clear path into this character from what Damien had put on paper. When we were making the short film, I was concerned that this kid was in over his head as a director. Obviously, he was a brilliant writer. I mean, Damien is like getting to make a movie in Hollywood. His dream project with professional actors and the self-confidence that he had by the time we got to the set with Miles.
What's up,
me
Michael?
Was remarkable.
I'm good. How are you?
Miles said in one interview at one point, somebody was asking about the scene where I've just been rehearsing the band, and they walk out of the stage door and walk down this alley exhausted, and some interviewer was asking about that, and Miles said, you know what, it's a lot easier to just be exhausted than to play exhausted. And that was the case in that scene. But at the same time, it was a nonstop labor of love for The three of us, for sure, the four of us, almost everybody on that set. Juno. I'm a show business ignoramus, still a little less so than I was back then in 2000.
Wow,
whatever.
from work?
So I had an audition
Dang, you had a long
for
day,
a movie
huh?
called Thank You for Smoking. Drove out to Santa Monica for an hour from my place in Hollywood. And of course, as always, they're behind schedule and it's pre-production and they have a million things going on. And I wait for almost an hour and, the director's not there yet. I go out to my car and I'm debating whether I'm going to put another $2 in the meter or whether I'm just going to say, you know what, I want to go back home and have lunch with my wife.
Well, dude,
and this guy
dude.
is parking in front of me and comes out of his car and he goes, JK.
I'm
and
trying
thinking, wow,
to pick a
I
thumbnail
don't usually get
for tomorrow's
recognized.
video.
And I go, hi. And he goes, it's
Oh,
Jason, I'm
thank
the
God.
director. I'm so sorry to be late. And I was like, oh yeah, I was just coming out to plug my meter. And we went and met. And he foolishly trusted me with the role of BR in an underrated movie, by the way, Thank You for Smoking, Jason Reitman's first feature. Fast forward, he and I, despite the fact that I'm his father's generation, he becomes not just a friend, but another kind of mentor to me because he knows the film business and the film art inside and out.
The
I
beauty of
ask him if he
sleeping in.
plays poker. He says no, and I go, perfect, want to join my poker game and we'll take some of your money. He shows up, he hands me a script. This is really great, and kind of just talks about what wonderful
The yellow
writing it is.
M&M?
What he doesn't say is, we want you to play Juno's dad, Mac McGuff. Jason, unbeknownst to me, was having producers and money people suggest very well-established, big-time movie stars to play the parents, a pop star to play Juno. Jason puts his heels into the ground and he says, I want Elliot Page to play Juno. I want J.K. Simmons to play the dad, and I want Allison Janney to play the stepmom.
So, Juno, how was your little maneuver last night?
Well, which maneuver, sir? The one where I moved an entire living room set from one lawn to the other, or the one where I downed a 64-ounce blue sushi in 10 minutes?
Juno, did you by any chance barf in my urn?
I'll never forget my first day arriving at the set up in Vancouver, and somebody introduced me to Diablo, and it was like an out-of-body experience. I couldn't stop myself from just giving her this big fatherly hug because she had written such a brilliant father character who loves his kids. I had kids. I didn't have a teenage daughter, but it was enormously helpful to me to be a father in playing Mac McGuff and to play the scene where Juno tells us that she's pregnant. And it was a scene that could have so easily been played as what Juno was afraid of. Oh my God, Dad is going to be so pissed off,
No, I mean, who was the father, Juno?
It's Polly Bleecker.
Polly Bleecker?
What?
I didn't think he had it in him.
Being a dad, I was just heartbroken. Whatever choice she ends up making, it's going to be difficult. Such a big part of what makes that relationship work between
Never
Juno and
watched
her dad.
Juno.
And then we get to see the great scenes where they go together to Jason and Jennifer's house, who were so great.
Junebug has a wonderful sense of humor, just one of her many genetic gifts.
And then the scene at the kitchen table, the post-birth scene in the hospital. I mean, it was such a creative gift and just a gift to my psyche and my soul to be able to play a loving, wonderful guy.
Someday you'll be back here, honey. On your terms.
It's something that I will always look back on with gratitude to Jason and to everybody involved.
M&M. Dang.
Oh, M&M.
Oh.
So you think Santa will like these red and green M&Ms? I had just done New York Undercover, a Dick Wolf cop show, where I played a uniformed cop, a New York cop, fast-talking, questionably ethical, well, no, bad, cop on the take,
Young bucks are hard to read.
Never can tell where your ambition might take you.
I might have been in the middle of shooting that, or
Dude,
had
he
just
literally
finished it.
is
And I show up
timeless.
at this audition, and they're little character descriptions of the red M&M, and he's this fast-talking, wise, blah blah blah, and the yellow M&M is a slow, sweet, kind of dumb. You know, I'm in red M&M mode, right? And I go into the. You know, you sign in, you check, you wait, hi guys. You go in, Janet Eisenberg, this wonderful casting director. Oh, JK, hi. So you'll read yellow, and it's going to be, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It was like I was talking to Scorsese about, you know. I said, nah, I mean, I'm red. Yeah, he's a fast talking, blah, 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 blah. I got to be red. And she's like, I mean, you absolutely could. You know, you're a wonderful actor. I really see you more. And we had this ridiculous back and forth with her talking me into auditioning for the yellow M&M. Thank you, Janet.
He does exist! They do exist.
Santa? Billy West, of course,
Santa?
is cast as the red M&M, and we've been doing it, is it 30 years? I mean, it's been a long time.
Wow.
As that campaign grew, and Billy and I became sort of entrenched as red and yellow, and the salary went up, you know, that was the first time that I felt like I'm in a position now financially where I don't have to take every single acting job and be away from my family for, you know, 3 weeks in wherever. I can do what I want to do, and I can try to stay home.
That's why voice
have a
acting
life
would be so
and a career
fun.
at the same time, which I know is weird in the show business. When you're making a movie, you're supposed to not have a life. But that has been and continues to be, thank you, Eminem Mars, a great character to play, and a really another blessing in my life. Oz.
Like, I'd love to voice act, man. I'd love it.
Livestock. That's what you are. My livestock.
I'm gonna
Is now
skip
to
Oz.
Invincible. This is the beginning of a long journey for you and me. Along the way, you're going to need to do
You know, I haven't
things
watched
you
this
don't
show.
want to do, or might not think you can do. It's okay to be scared. It's natural to doubt yourself. But if you can push through that and do what needs to be done, you'll do just fine. Invincible came to me out of the blue, and I
gotta
read,
watch it.
I think, the one script that was available, and thought it was really good. They actually had first approached me about playing a different character, and I read it and I thought, wow, this is like really smart and weird and cool. And this sounds silly because it's animated, but I just kind of didn't see myself as the character that they were saying they would want me to play, and I passed on it. And then I don't know how much later they came back and asked me to play Nolan Omni-Man.
Why did you make me do this? You're fighting so you can watch everyone around you die. Think, Mark. You'll outlast every fragile, insignificant being on this planet.
I don't think I knew how twisted it
Dang. Skip it because I'm not really familiar with it.
was at the time. I was just reading the first script, maybe the first two. So I was, to me,
I mean,
it
I haven't
was
watched this
another
either, but
interesting
cartoons intrigue me more.
dad character. Stephen Yeun and Sandra Oh, I think, were already attached, and I thought they're both fantastic, and I'd love to work with them, even if it's, on a recording studio doing animation. Coincidentally, they were.
Dude, hold on, press and pause. Like the Blue Eye Samurai, like the director, the creator, allowed me to follow her. Like her account is on private. Like I sent her DMs for sure. I know she saw them. But like just to like imagine if I got the chance to work on Blue Eye Samurai, it would be super dope. Dope.
Recording them about 3/4 of a mile from my house. So it took me about 4 minutes on my bike to go to the recording studio. So I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, I'll do it. No idea that it would become the hit. I mean, it's iconic. It's completely blown up, and I get comments from strangers on the street about
can't wait till he talks
and
about Korra.
Omni-Man, you know, as much as I do for any of the other things we're talking about here today. It's had such an impact, and especially with animation, where there's like literally there's no boundaries. You know, the creative team can take it wherever they want to go, and it's really been a fun journey to be on and to be continuing.
BoJack Horseman.
Look, honey,
Okay.
I've been in this business a long time.
All right.
Okay? Long time. And as I once said to a young Ed Begley Sr., it ain't a done deal till the deals are all done.
BoJack Horseman
a
came out of the
done
blue
deal
too, and
till
I
the
hadn't
deals are
seen
all
the show,
done.
and I read the script, and I was like, "This is hilarious." And they wanted me to play a character that's, you know, a voice character, obviously, that's kind of different from, you know, J. Jonah Jameson, to play this, you know, the nudgy turtle agent guy. That was a no-brainer to jump on board and do my
All right,
my
Korra's
fun,
next.
silly recurring character on that like just weird, subversive, hilarious show. That was really fun.
Yes.
Legend of Korra. I have done my best to guide Republic City towards the dream my father had for it. But you are right. It has fallen out of balance since he passed. I thought.
And we're currently watching Korra right now. I just never would have thought that was his voice. It's just too calm. I've just never heard of humor like from JK to just to Tenzin.
Thought I should put off your training in order to uphold his legacy. But you are his legacy.
Legend of Korra was all about our kids who had been gigantic fans, as we were, of the original Avatar cartoon series, and the themes of that and the execution of that. It was such a good show. We watched it with our kids. Yeah, when that opportunity came up, absolutely jumped at it.
You don't know how happy I am to hear you so full of hope again.
It's been a bit of a bumpy ride, huh?
That's literally that's the last episode.
I've come to realize life is one big bumpy ride.
Unfortunately, because it takes a long time in animation, you record it and then, you know, sometimes longer than a feature film. It comes out a year later or a year and a half later. Our kids were like really not interested in me being in that. And I was so crushed at the time. But they were thrilled when I did guest spots on SpongeBob and The Simpsons.
That's an unusual playing style, but still, he sounds magnificent. What you're experiencing is a phenomenon known as transference, where you project your feelings towards your mother onto your art teacher. Anytime you find yourself wanting to hug Mrs. Hakamuchi, snap this rubber band on your wrist.
That was more their vibe.
Okay, I'm gonna skip this one. I'm gonna skip these. Oh, 8 hours ago. Well, good find then. That is a good find. What's this one? Oop.
Do you meet up before you commit to a role? Do you ever say, like, I want to meet Captain America and find out what the fuck that guy's really like?
I mean, I love that you think I'd have the authority. Did you cast this guy? All right, let me get a taste of him.
No,
I'll tell
I
you
mean,
if he
just
can
to say,
stick
like,
around.
I'm
My
crazy.
MO is always, let's mind meld, let's get together, let's work weekends, let's spend time together, because you can't replace that familiarity, but so you have to try to build it. And sometimes it happens very naturally. Like
Dude, I'm just so curious how Doctor Doom is gonna, you know, fall into place for Marvel. It's just like I don't know. I mean, I clearly the full fan base is still skeptical, but like, yeah, I don't know. We're still waiting on this guy. 11 million. This man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. I know we're only an hour 25 in. Tomorrow, we're gonna go for the full 2-hour stream. I just have to help my sister clean the house a bit before our next work day tomorrow. I will be posting a short right after the stream. Are there any last minute things that I should mention? Yeah, so I was messaging my editor And we have like a quick. You guys kind of saw it, but like you guys didn't pay attention to it. But there's this. He showed me the picture of the thumbnail that's gonna happen right now, and it's gonna look so good. Like I'm so excited for you guys to see it. My sponsors, hopefully, like the sponsor will sponsor me more. Oh, and by the way, guys, the boxes are gone. I sold one of them today. If anyone wants to buy one, I'm still selling it for $600. If anyone wants to buy a Jane doll, most likely it'll be gone this week. People are messaging me nonstop. But anyways, fellas, tomorrow will be Fortnite. We'll be going over a couple things. We'll be talking about the video if it's uploaded tomorrow. In 6 days we'll have a members only stream, so I'm so excited about Matt with the book. Oh my god. And I'll also be reading my book. I know. I'm super stoked about it. I made my money back. I made my money back on that stuff. Oh, and I'm gonna run a 10K just for training. So that'll also be fun. And something amazing is happening on Monday. So, but you're just gonna have to see it on Monday. Alright, y'all. Have a beautiful night. And I will see you tomorrow. Shorts coming out in the next 15 minutes.